Computer. Hello and welcome to the Breaking Free podcast. I'm your host, Nathan Francis, and today I'm very grateful and very humbly joined by Corrie Bignell. Corrie's part of the Self-Sabotage coaching tribe. She's about to be certified. She's also an unregistered nurse. I think she's the only one in the world that's an unregistered nurse. We're looking forward to delving into that journey as well. Corrie's a very, very powerful woman. She lives over in Nicaragua now, so she's had an interesting story. I've heard some of it, read some of it. I'm looking forward to hearing the rest of it, just like you all are. Corrie's awesome. This is going to be an awesome chat. Corrie, welcome to my show today. Happy to have you here. Let's delve into the Corrie Bignell story, shall we?
Okay.
So, unregistered nurse. So tell me about how that all came about, I guess, over the last 3 years, Corrie.
Well, in 2020, COVID hit, and I've been a nurse for, at that time, 14 years. And I work in acute care hospital in Kitchener, Ontario, Canada. And at first it was like, it's kind of scary, like we don't know what's happening. We got one COVID patient and then like the whole hospital went bonkers. Everyone was scared. And then I had my first COVID patient on the floor, and well, I was scared going into the room. I'm not gonna lie. It was a very weird feeling, because you just hear everything, and I don't even listen to the news or the radio or anything, but just the buzz in the whole hospital was, it was a very weird time. And so I went into the room, with all your garb on, not even the correct garb because they switched that a million times. And I just thought, you know what, Corrie, you have to take care of this patient, and he's sick, and that's all there is to it. And so I took care of him. He was fevered, whatever, he had other ailments that, which is probably why he was in the hospital, looking back today. But then things got a little bit weird because our hospital was really kind of empty at the time. We didn't have a lot of patients because people weren't coming to the hospital, and there wasn't actually many COVID patients, but we had like so many nurses working because there was nothing else to do but go to work, right? So nurses who would normally like call in sick, they were coming to work because it wasn't very busy. And then, we started to see people banging their pots and pans and bringing us food and paying for really expensive takeouts for us all. And, I kind of look around going like, so we're not really overworked right now. Normally we have like 4 patients to 1 nurse, but now we have like 3 patients or 3 nurses to 1 patient. So this isn't really adding up, And so then I started like, okay, what the heck? Like, this just seems like, it's the flu, and people who are already sick at home are coming in because they're sick in the first place, but they also have COVID. I'm going to say in, air quotes, right? And then it just like, it just got kind of weird. Like everyone was just praising us, and we're, as nurses, we don't get treated very well most days. But now I'd leave the hospital and you heard like pots and pans and people clapping when you walk down the street, and like, what the heck is actually going on? Then I realized the only reason that they're doing that is because their TV told them to. 100%. Right? The TV was like, okay, at 7 p.m., like everyone clap their hands for bang their pots and pans for the nurses. It's like, we're not even overworked right now. This is ridiculous. It doesn't even add up. And then the summer of that year, 2020, July 2020, no mask mandates were in place in my area until July 19th, 2020. And so I would go to Starbucks because I drank coffee back then. Every break, I'd leave the hospital, walk, get my Starbucks, and walk back. And so on July 18th, I walked to Starbucks and I had all my gear on, my nurse's gear, no mask, nothing. And they served me coffee, no problem. So then the mask mandates came into effect midnight at that night. I went to the Starbucks the next day, again, with all my nurse's cap and my scrubs. And the day before, they're like, oh, thank you so much, or you're a hero, and blah, blah, The next day, the mask mandates came in at noon or at midnight that night. I walk into the same Starbucks, no mask, and everyone's wearing masks. And the lady at the counter who just praised me the day before, thanking me for being a frontline hero, yelled at me from their cash register, "You can't come in here without a mask on." I was like, what in the hell is happening here?
Oh, wow.
So yesterday I could come in and I was a hero, and today I'm wearing the same thing. And today I don't have a mask on, and you're actually yelling at me to leave leave the Starbucks. What is happening here, right? It's so weird. And then fast forward to when the vaccine mandates came in. I'd worked through all COVID. I worked Emerge, ICU, all of the floors. I worked with a million COVID patients. And then all of a sudden they put the vaccine mandates in. And now all of a sudden, like a nurse who isn't vaccinated is about to lose our job. And the people, even staff, even coworkers, friends, and everything, were fully on board with people who weren't vaccinated to lose their jobs. Even a seasoned nurse like me, they were like, "No, if you don't have it, you can't work." And I said, "I don't know how this makes sense. I worked the whole entire time." Well, and it wasn't just them, it was society, because again, the TV told them that nurses can't work without the vaccine. So they were actually wishing for us to lose our jobs, wishing that we didn't get unemployment insurance. And the same people that would, bang their pots and pans at 7 p.m. at shift change were the same people saying, "No, that's it, you can't work anymore." And then that happened, right? October, we were put on unpaid leave. In November, the people who didn't get the vaccine, we lost our job. And so it was very, very difficult, because my kind of line in the sand was, no matter if I get fired or not, if they put me on unpaid leave, I actually have to leave the country. I have to sell my home, which was my family home that my dad grew up in. It was my grandma's house. I bought it when she had passed away. And so I was ready to leave everything if I was put on unpaid leave, not just because of not being able to have a job, but I was really scared about what our government was going to do with financially for me. I couldn't afford not to have a job. And I didn't, looking into the future, I had a mortgage. I lived paycheck to paycheck. There was no way I could afford Canada if it was going to go the way I thought it was going to go. So I sold my house when the market was really stupid hot. And as soon as I knew I was going to be on unpaid leave, and then by November 23rd, gave my son and my house closed that day, and we flew to Nicaragua. We rented a house here, and I had never ever traveled before, ever in my life. I never saw the ocean before. It was so crazy, because I actually, it was the biggest leap of faith that I have ever taken, because I had no idea what was going to be waiting for me at the end of this trip. I've never been anywhere tropical. I've never seen the ocean, palm trees, and nothing. And so I remember just my house closed the same day that we were leaving. And I was lying on my empty house floor, just crying, praying to God, you have to give me something at the end of this that is going to take this heartache away, because I didn't know if I'd see my daughter again. I'm leaving the home that I thought was my forever home, my career, my family. I left everything to try and break free from the matrix, really. And so once I landed here, I went to the ocean, and it was like, oh my, what? And I mean, I'm free. I'm out of debt. I bought a house here cash with the money that I had made off of my house. I have no debt anymore. I am literally out of the matrix. I am free. And it is a big deal for me, because now going forward, my children are going to not be in the matrix either. That's it. They're out of it. I have paved a way for the rest of the people that, follow me in my family tree. We are not slaves anymore. And so It was really hard. I'm not going to say that it wasn't hard, but it was so worth the pain that I had then to where I am right now is I can't
It's
even.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's really awesome. You can just up and leave your life and your stuff behind to build a new one. It's pretty powerful because I've done the
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah. It's like I have 16 boxes left in Canada, and I didn't know that I'd ever come back there, but thankfully, like I've been back last summer and this past summer. And so I am not willing to not ever go, like I'm not willing to stop traveling. I will be able to go back there. I'm a free person, and it's not going to matter what happens in the world. I will still be able to go see my family. No one's going to make me that fearful again, because I was pretty scared when I was leaving, like, oh my, this is the last time I'm going to see them. And now I know that that's not the right mindset, but I did have to leave Canada. I had to get out of debt. That was a huge one for me because, if I'm still in debt, I'm a slave, right? There's a lot of people that I think nurses, I can speak to that because, I work with them. They would have only taken that vaccine because they had a mortgage, because they have car payments. Had they not had that, and they could just say, you know what, I'm out of here. I don't need to work here. I have enough money. I don't need to take this drug. But a lot of people had to take it because they have debt. And so I will never be in that situation again where I'm faced to choose, to pay for something or to put something in my body that doesn't align with me.
100%.
Yeah. And so now I, I'm a free person. And a lot of people don't understand that because they can't even comprehend what it's like to be debt free. And I'm 40, I'm going to be 46 in a couple weeks. I'm retired from nursing. I'll never go back. And this year I didn't pay for my registration. So, and there was a few reasons why I didn't do that. One, I didn't want to have the kind of, I guess it would be just a temptation to go back and participate in the healthcare system, because I know I could make a decent amount of money there. So when I go home to Canada, I could maybe get a job. They are hiring nurses in other places now. I could get a job without my vaccine. But then again, now I know so much about the medical system. There is no way I can participate in that ever again. So that was, for me, not renewing my license was a way for me to say, you absolutely cannot work there again. And so I call myself the unregistered nurse because I'm out of the system. I'm not part of the College of Nurses of Ontario anymore. I will never be a part of any registered governing body for nurses. And I'm unregistered, and I am still a nurse. They can never take that away from me. And I'm still going to help people, but just in a different way. And so this is where I was called to do Jason Christoph's coaching course. And it just, I goosebumps thinking about it because it's everything that I love: health, fitness, and helping people, which is that I am still a nurse. And so I'm the unregistered nurse that's going to help. Hopefully I can help a lot of nurses because they're really struggling, and they've always struggled for a long time. But I just hope I can help so many people, maybe break free from the matrix, but at least if they can't do that, at least make themselves healthy. And then in time, they will be able to break free from the matrix the way I did.
That's so powerful.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, it is. And that's a really inspiring thing because a lot of nurses, even like my age too, are really struggling as well.
They're struggling. They've always struggled, but right now they're really struggling. The morale is horrible. Their tribe, the nursing tribe, is, well, I looked up some research papers a number of weeks ago because I made a post on how unhealthy nurses are. They're saying about 55% are overweight or obese. You know, if I were to take a poll at the hospital I was at, I would say probably 80% are overweight and obese. Like they are very unhealthy people. And for someone like me, I didn't fit in that tribe because I competed in fitness competitions. You know, on my breaks on night shift, I'd be running up and down the stairs. I would never participate in their buffets that they would have. I would bring my own food. But the whole nursing culture, for the most part, is so unhealthy. They don't sleep well. They don't eat well. They drink a ton of coffee. And now I know about coffee and I know what it does to them. You know, they drink booze when they get home because it's stressful, and that's just what nurses do. And I was that person. I drank coffee. Yeah, I would drink wine on the weekends, and you know, I thought that was totally normal. But now since I don't drink coffee, I don't drink booze anymore. I can look back and I look at pictures from me then and to me now, and I'm obviously older now. Oh my God, what a difference. It's such a difference, you know? So I am leading by example, and I know that a lot of my colleagues are still watching me. They watch because you can tell, you know, it comes up on my stories. It's like, you keep watching, and I know you know that they totally disagree with what I believe in, but they're watching. And so it's that content, right? Over and over and over again. I'm gonna get to them.
Yeah, I'm the same with my old colleagues back in the education system. They're all watching me too. Don't worry about that. Interesting. So we'll talk about your health journey now. So you just sort of delved into it then. So we can sort of delve into it now even more. So you drank the alcohol, you drank the coffee, you did all those things. How was breaking free from those vices really? How'd you find all of that going through that process of becoming healthier and stronger and stuff?
Well, you know what? The caffeine, up until probably it was May of this year, I was like, it's not too bad. You know, coffee isn't bad. And then you start listening to Jason, and you're like, oh my God, actually, it is really bad. And so I'm the type of person, I say, that's it. Like May 15th, I was like, nope, that's it. I don't need coffee anymore. And then I would never drink coffee at home. I would just go to a nice cafe. I haven't drank Starbucks since August of last year because I'm like, no, they're a globalist elite company. There's no way I am going to Starbucks. And I was a Starbucks junkie. Okay. Like I was the fangirl of Starbucks, right? So I quit them last year. And so I would only drink lattes only if I went to a cafe or whatever. And so I don't know that I was addicted so much, but when I was at a cafe, I would have a latte. So for me, that was easy. It was like, nope, that's it. That's done. For me, alcohol, my whole journey through the pandemic, I kind of was weaning myself off of it. And I stopped drinking wine. And I lost a ton of weight just from not drinking wine socially, you know?
Yeah.
When I was a hockey mom, I drink a ton of wine, and you could tell in my pictures when I was a hockey mom, like I was so fat. Oh my God, it's terrible. So I didn't really have a hard time with the stopping the drinking. It's, you know, now if I do have a drink, I'll have one beer and that's it. Like I don't need any more than that. And it really wasn't a problem for me. I'm pretty headstrong with like, okay, that's it. That's all. We're done. Sugar, the same thing. You know, once you listen to Jason, it's like, you don't even crave that. And I've been doing the hypnosis so much, and that, you know, you don't even crave those things anymore. It's so crazy. Like I actually feel, I feel like I've changed my DNA to like, I'm not even the same person that I was even 6 months ago, right? Like I have leveled up so much physically and mentally from the day that I started his course to now.
Yeah.
Like,
I second that. Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you find Jason, and how did you find his program and his course and all that sort of stuff?
Man, it's great. Like I think the cost of his program is really reasonable for what you get out of it. And he's so generous, you know, like he's now, like every course that he offers, I'm jumping on because he's, you know, for coaches, it's free. So, you know, every week I'm listening to him, and it's, you know, even if it's the same, he says kind of the same things, or plays the same videos or whatever. I don't even care, because I'm like, I just need it, you
How'd you
know.
come across his work and his course and stuff? Were you already following him on social media? Like, how did all that
I
come
was,
about?
yeah, I was following him on social media,
Yep.
and we were driving back. My boyfriend was down last year. We were driving back from the south, and I was just on my phone, and I was like, you know what? There was an ad. His Instagram came up with the coaching school, and I said, I have to do it.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it. And he said, okay. I'm like, I have to, because I just feel like I'm being called to this, and it was the best decision I ever made. Like, I haven't, you know, sometimes I get involved in like courses, and then I put them to the side, and, you know, I don't finish them. But this one, I was like, no, I am finishing this, and that's all there is to it. And I won't take on any other work, but do my course. And so that's what I did the whole summer I was back in Canada. I was very focused on my course. I didn't miss one class.
That's
I was
awesome.
there the whole, yeah, it was so great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And what the future holds for you? You know, you're going to be a self-sabotage coach. You're going to help so many nurses, and I'm looking forward to watching that journey unfold for you. It's going to be awesome for you.
I think it's going to be great. And Jason did, he did my questionnaire in front of the whole class. They didn't know it was me. It was Jane Fonda. He called me and whatever. And he, you know, he says so many good things about me, right? He's like, and this girl, like, she's 45 and she's in good shape. And I'm like, yeah, that he's actually talking about me. And like, it's so awesome, you know, like he just pumped up my tires so much, and this gave me confidence to, you know, just go for it. And sometimes, like I feel like you have that imposter syndrome where you're like, oh man, like, am I really doing the right thing? Like, I don't know if I can do it. But then you listen to him, and then it's like, you know what, I'm just going for it. And now my subconscious it's changed, right? Now I'm just, you know, if my intuition is super sharp, you know, like messaging you, you know, I was, oh, I got to message him, you know, there was no, oh, what if he thinks I'm weird? You know, it's kind of weird. No, I'm just going to message him and tell him, like, good for you. You know, like, I was really inspired by watching that, you know, and, you know, if someone did the same to me, I'd be stoked about that. You know, it would make me really happy to know that I've made an impact on people. And I get a lot of messages, you know, every day, people saying, you know, thanks so much for inspiring me. And so messages like that keep me going. And then when I do have that kind of imposter kind of thought, I just think back to that, and it's like, no, I'm going for it, and I can be anything I want to be. So I'm an unregistered nurse who's going to help a shit ton of people. So
love the confidence. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oozing out of you. It's powerful. So in terms of the last 3 years, I know for me that I'm very grateful for the last 3 years. It allowed me to go within and learn how's the inner work been going for you as well? Like dealing with some of the emotions that come up and on the pain and different things as well. How's the inner journey for you been? So let's go deep now.
I have grown so much in the last 3 years that it's hard to even recognize who I am anymore. I spent a lot of time, well, I came down here with my son, so it was him and I. And then when we went back to Canada last year, he said it's hard for a teenager here because the culture is totally different. He's not in regular school, and he, you know, there wasn't a lot of friends. Like, they speak another language here. So he decided to stay back with his dad this whole last year. And so I was on my own for the first time. I've been a mom since I was 16. So I was on my own, alone, and I have no problems being alone. But it was very much needed for my growth spiritually and mentally and emotionally to just sit with myself and figure out who I am, what I want to do, instead of taking care of people, like my son and, my daughter and patients at work. Finally, I could just sit and be like, okay, what am I going to do with my life? And so I've grown a ton. I just did a lot of soul searching. I did a lot of journaling, meditating, and here I am.
Powerful.
And it's not over yet. My journey's not over yet, but I feel like finally, like I've broken through that, the barriers that were keeping me down. And now I've just grown so much. And so I was single for a long time after Gabe was born. I was single for 11, 12 years. And so last year I met a guy who's just incredible. And I took that time to be single because I knew that I had to grow, and I still wasn't done growing, but I needed to figure out what I wanted in a man. And so finally, finally he came into my life last year. And now it just seems like, since I've grown so much and everything in life is just, everything I wanted is coming to me. That's the only way I can explain it.
It's awesome. It's your energy. It's your vibration. You're attracting that in. Yeah. It's powerful.
Totally.
And
so
I was just going to ask you about your time. You carry on.
My boyfriend he was a firefighter as well.
Yep.
And so he quit. He retired due to the mandates because they were trying to force the mandates on him too. So it's so crazy. I never found a boyfriend. I never even dated. I was celibate the whole time, and that is something that I was really embarrassed about for many, many years. It's like, oh, my friends think I'm so weird, but no, like, I'm so proud of that, because a lot of people don't do that.
I'm celibate too, by the way. I'm 2.5 years into my celibacy. Yeah.
So
not many men my age, Corrie, are celibates. You know what I mean? Yeah.
But I'm so glad I did, because I've learned that when you have sex with somebody, it's an energy exchange, right? And so you take on their energy.
Yeah, it's like plugging a USB into a computer.
That's right. And so I was celibate for many, many years. And so, I feel like, the partners that I had before, I've cut off their energy. I'm no longer attached. And now, I was fully ready to meet someone who was deserving of me. And I think the world is, well, they do that on purpose, right? More people need to just not do that, and focus on themselves, because you learn a lot about yourself. And so it's so crazy just how everything worked out. And so now he'll be down next week, and he'll spend 4 months down here. Yeah. So it's so great.
Very powerful what you're saying about cutting the ties. I did all that as well. It's very, very powerful, isn't it? And then taking that time, and then taking that time to sit alone. So, like, it's just interesting, because not many people out there in society, my age, your age, doesn't really matter. They don't want to sit alone and do these things. There's so many, as we know, so many self-sabotaging distractions around. It's for you to take time, like I did as well, for you to take time by yourself and just work out what it is that you want, who you want, figure out what's next. That's going to inspire a lot of people just by you saying and doing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Powerful.
And it's hard. It's hard to sit by yourself.
It is. Yeah.
You got to look at yourself, and you got like, oh my God. I mean, I made so many mistakes in my life, and, but that's okay. And I had to forgive myself for all those mistakes.
It's about asking about that.
Yeah. Because that's made me who I am today. And who I am today is nothing like who I was back then. And so now going forward, I've learned from those mistakes. And I feel like, you know, because I've been through what I've been through, I will be able to help people go through what they're going through, just leading by example, just showing them, okay, look what I went through. And when they were firing us, the girls at work that I work with knew that I had everything to lose by not taking the vaccine. Me out of everybody, because I didn't have a husband. I didn't have my boyfriend at the time, right? I didn't even know him until last year. Like, I didn't have anybody to help me. And so that's one of the things that was really resonated with me was an American guy by the name of Sean Whalen. He had made a statement one time in one of his stories. He was like, no one is coming to save you.
Mm.
And I thought about that. I'm like, holy shit, no one is actually coming to save me. I have to save myself right now, for myself and my son. And whatever it takes, I got to do, no matter how radical it is. I had to do it. And it was pretty radical. People were really talking like, oh my God, what is Corrie doing? Like, she doesn't never travel. Everyone knows I didn't travel. I've never been on a vacation before. And here I am moving my selling my home and moving. Like, we moved in a month. Like, I put all my stuff into storage, got a plane ticket, and we left the country all in, like, it was like 6 weeks.
Wow.
So crazy.
That's phenomenal. That's so cool.
Yeah. But we
That
had to,
is
because
so, yeah.
if I didn't leave the country by November 30th of 2021, we wouldn't be able to get on a plane.
Well, yeah.
We had a time limit, right? Like, I had to leave, or I couldn't get on a plane. Like, that was the climactic part of my movie here. I was like, holy shit, I gotta get out of the country, or I'm not gonna be able to get out.
Yeah.
It
That's
was so
awesome.
crazy. Yeah. So
It can
my
be
story,
done.
no, it can be done. And I think that too, like, my story, when people say, well, I can't do this and I can't do that. And I was like,
Oh,
yeah, I
yeah.
could have said the same thing. I can't do this. I can't do that. No, I don't. There's no excuse for anybody, because if I can do it, man, anyone can do it.
Yeah.
Anybody.
Powerful.
So
And your content's awesome too. You're posting a lot of workout reels. You sort of,
yeah,
I go to the gym every day myself, so it's good to
I
see
saw that.
another gym junkie out there.
Well, you have to, like, and I mean,
Yeah.
I've always been to fitness, but fitness is so important. And
Yeah.
if you are fit, if you are a fit person, everything in life will just fall into place. And that's all there
100%.
is to it.
That's
And
interesting,
it,
because how have you found the self-sabotage stuff? Because Jason often talks about going to the gym can be a form of that. Were you one that was that a form of self-sabotage for you? Because I know for me, with exercise or working out, you guys call it, I would run and ride my bike a lot, and that was my escape from my stuff a couple of years ago. So I would run like
yeah,
30, 40K a week, bike ride like 100 or more. Yeah. So I was using exercise as a form of sabotage.
self-sabotage.
Was that ever a
And I
thing for
think,
you or not?
yeah, I think, Jason, like, in terms of the running and the like constant cardio, like that, like, for some people that is sabotage,
That
because
was for me.
they're,
It was for me.
yeah,
Yeah.
you need to lift weights, right?
100%.
You have
Yeah.
to lift weights.
Yeah.
And for me, yeah, I did self-sabotage when I was competing in fitness.
Yep.
I didn't do steroids, but I abused the fat burners, the pre-workouts.
Let's talk about
I
those a minute. A lot of people don't know what really goes on with
Oh,
those products. Yeah, let's give them a bit of a chat about
so
that.
the pre-workouts are, there's a ton of caffeine in the pre-workouts.
Yep.
It's a vasodilator, so it gets, like, your veins will pop up when you're working out, because it's just dilating everything, and you just get a good pump on, and you can see, right, your veins are popping, and you're all hyped up, and you
But you
feel
can
real
get that
good.
naturally, though. You can just get that naturally. I know
No,
for me, my veins have started doing that. I don't take
yes,
caffeine. Yeah,
no, but it, I mean,
really amps up.
I was at the when I was competing, I couldn't work out without that pre-workout.
Oh, really?
Like I was like, well, I could
Oh,
have,
yeah.
but I would have been like, oh, I can't work out now. I need my pre-workout,
Yep.
or I need my fat burners. And, and then we would take some pills to, the diuretic pills to shed all the water before the shows. And there was one time I almost passed out because I took too many of the pills to get rid of the fluid so I could go on stage. And you look so lean, and you've got no fat on you. You're lean, plus you have no water in you, so you just show really well, right? So I did 5 of those shows, and my last show I was like, I can't do this anymore, because I was abusing the fat burners. I was taking the pre-workout. I was taking almost like a steroid. It was a mild steroid to help you gain muscle. And it was like, you know what, this is stupid. And so I stopped. Well, then I gained a shit ton of weight because I wasn't taking the pre-workout. I wasn't taking the fat burners anymore. And that's often what happens with women that are involved in that sport, I guess you could say, is they don't know how to do it without those supplements, right? And some of them are legal, some of them are illegal, but it really messes with your body. And so, and then after I was done the shows, I looked terrible. Terrible. Oh my God, it's very unhealthy. So that was self-sabotage. What I do now is, I work out for about, half an hour, 40 minutes a day. I don't kill myself in the cardio anymore. I was doing two sessions of cardio during competing, 45 minutes at the gym plus weights. And then on night shift, I'd run up and down the
That's
stairs.
right.
Like,
Yeah, you're saying that.
Trying to get my second set of cardio in, when now I'm leaner than I was when I competed. And I don't even do that much stuff anymore. And I'm older. Like,
that's powerful.
I thought women my age, like 45, they start looking like shit. They get that inner tube around their waist, and they say like, okay, well, it's maybe because you're going into menopause or whatever.
That's
that's all a scam. It's such a lie. You don't actually, it's a lie. It's 100% a lie. Because if that were true, I'm not in menopause yet, but like I'm not gaining more weight. I'm losing more fat, and I have muscle. And they discourage women from lifting weights. They just lift the baby weights. No, you got to lift the big weights.
100%. Get into it, Will. Right? Girls, women, get into it. Come on.
I've been working out for 25 years.
Wow.
And I still, like, I wish I could build more muscle, but I can't. It's physically impossible for me to put on more muscle. Like, I'm not going to look like a beast. It's just not going to happen. We don't have the testosterone to make us, unless you take it on, unnaturally. We can't be big people with big muscles, and they scare females into thinking like if they lift weights, you're going to look like, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Well, that's not going to happen. No, I've been lifting weights for a long time. So I did self-sabotage back then. But now, no. Now
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's been an awesome podcast chat, Corrie. I'd love to get you back on when you launch your stuff, and we can talk more about the gym and like pick some topics and really delve into. We sort of just scraped the surface of a heap of them just then, so it'd be awesome to get you back on and delve into some more women's stuff.
I would love. Yeah. I mean, because women, they're really targeting women. They really are targeting women, and in more ways than one. I feel like probably most of my clients will be women.
I agree with that.
They gravitate to me, and I would feel probably more comfortable with a woman anyways. But I have so much to offer them in terms of what they can do as moms or as nurses, or just women. They need a lot of help right now.
They do.
There's a lot of very overweight, unhealthy women that just think, oh, okay, I'm getting older. Well, this is what happens. No, actually, it doesn't happen like that. Not if you take care of yourself.
It's a program too.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah. It's because they watch
So,
their parents age into their overweightness and they're like, oh, that's just going to happen to me. They've watched that and it's a repetition thing. It's subconscious program.
right. Yeah. So
anyway, I've got 2 questions left for you, Corrie, and then we can wrap things up.
Okay.
So first one is, if there's someone, a woman watching this, or it could be anyone really, that was where you were, might have been a nurse, drinking heaps of coffee, doing their thing, might be someone that's really struggling out there. What would be your advice for someone to start their journey?
Well, reach out to me. Obviously reach out to, any of us, but, I had to dig deep within me, and no one was telling me what to do.
Yeah.
And I wish there was someone like me back then to say, this is what you have to do, because it would have been a lot easier. And so, I can be that person, if they're struggling right now, I can say, okay, this is what worked for me. And, not telling them what to do, but just saying, look at someone. And, I looked for Sean Whalen, and he's like a millionaire, but, he told me there's no one coming to save you. And that's all I needed to be like, okay, then I gotta get shit done, like on my own, and I'm strong that way, and a lot of people aren't strong that way. And so how do you get to be as strong as I was back then or now? It's a struggle, but you really have to want it. And if you really want something, if you really, like, deep down in your heart want something, you'll make it happen. And that's all I did. And there's no magic pill, there's no magic anything other than, like, I had to want it. And so for people that are listening, you have to want it, and you'll find a way.
Powerful advice.
Yeah. And now I feel like there's so many of us now to help. Like back then, like 3 years ago, 2 years ago, no one was talking like this, but now there's so many of us out there, and I'll call us light workers, right? We are the light workers.
Yeah.
And so now you can find us now. And I do feel like our light is just being shone out to the whole entire world, and they will be able to find us now. So
100%.
Yeah.
Well put, well said.
Thank you.
Very powerful. I love this podcast because when people give advice like that, it's usually for something for me. And it's like, yeah, I want something so bad, and I'm just going to go make it happen now. Yeah. Thank you for that advice. If anyone's listening to that, that's very, very powerful advice. We're gonna have to make that an Instagram reel, that piece of advice, and get that out there for you, Corrie. What do you reckon? Make it a video.
I appreciate it.
Speaking of Instagram and stuff, Corrie, where can people find you? Can people reach out to you now and ask for help? Tell me all about that. Where can people find you?
Absolutely. They can find me on Instagram at Corrie Bignell.
Yep.
Just the name.
We'll put a link to that in the bottom for you.
That's great. Yeah.
Yep.
And soon, my website will be launching, and it's theregisterednurse.com. I can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait. So we're working on that now.
Yep.
I got to take photos and stuff and figure out how I want it to look, but that is going to be launching in the next few months, I would say.
Beautiful. Yeah. Give Corrie a follow. Her Instagram content's really inspiring. She's always in the gym, so that's always good to see.
An outdoor gym too.
Yes.
Under the sun.
Thank you for sharing all that you shared today, Corrie. I'm looking forward to getting you back on the next few months when you launch your stuff, and we can pick a few topics and really go for it. So thank you for jumping on today. It's been awesome to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for listening and watching wherever in the world you are. It's been the Breaking Free podcast. I'm Nathan Francis, your host. I'll see you guys again real soon with another awesome few guests before the year's out. So we'll talk again soon, and always reach out and ask for help. Reach out to Corrie, reach out to me, reach out to someone that's been where you've been and watch yourself transform. And who knows, you might be on my podcast one day. So we'll talk again real soon. Catch you guys later. See ya. I need to stop recording. Oh.